Hi, this is Glenn Gabe, and welcome to episode 9 of SEO from the Front Lines. Today I'm going to be covering my latest blog post, which went live today about 1 o'clock. It's called Beyond Reddit and Quora, and how Google's Hidden Gems update yielded explosive growth in search visibility for many forums. Over the past year, we saw obviously Reddit surge and Quora surge, and there's been a lot of focus on that, and for good reason. But one thing that I brought up, and also people like Lily Ray have brought up as well, is that it's not just them seeing explosive growth, right? Reddit and Quora surge like crazy, which I'm going to cover in a few seconds here. But many, many forums did. So, I've heard back and forth on Twitter, and I've always had to, just explain and share screenshots of what I'm seeing across other forums. So I figured it would be smart to write this post where it can kind of cover it in detail. So, I start the post where I talk about in May of 2023, Google wrote a blog post where part of that blog post was talking about how it was going to refine its systems to surface what it considered hidden gems, which is content written from a personal or expert point of view. So we were all excited about that, waiting to see that roll out. Then the fall of insane updates, the fall of 2023 rolled out, and there were 6 major updates during that time, so it was really wild to see. Now, at that point, Google did not explain that Hidden Gems was rolling out at all. We found out after the fact, a few months down the line, I guess, that they in fact did roll it out. But looking back, it was pretty clear to see, right? I mean, we saw forums and UGC sites, surging starting around the October core update. It made a lot of sense when we finally found out that they rolled it out. And they didn't give us any specifics on which update it rolled out through via, but it sure looks like the October core update. So, as a quick example, just talking about Reddit and Quora, here's the visibility growth that both have seen since the fall of 2023. It's really wild to see. Depending on which tool you're using, it's hundreds of % growth, like 380% growth for Reddit, 340% growth for Quora, or somewhere around there, or even higher, up to almost 1,000% growth if you're using Systrix. Regardless, they both saw an immense amount of visibility growth and rankings during that time. So, then I go into basically Reddit and Quora surging like mad, and I start explaining more about the partnership that was announced, right? So a lot of focus has been on this for good reason too. So Google announced a partnership with Reddit where they were paying them upwards of $60 million a year to use their data and have access to it to train its AI models. In addition, Reddit would basically provide a fire hose of data, and that's kind of like what Google has in place with Twitter. That's why it can get tweets in real time. So it's not relying on crawling there. It's getting basically a structured feed of information based upon all the latest content being published there. So obviously that's a big benefit. As a side note, I shared a few months ago just about the number of pages ranking in Google for Reddit. And ever since the partnership, it doubled. It was like 22 million to 44 million or something like that. It was just a tremendous amount of growth there. You could actually look that up, and maybe I'll put that in the show notes here. So obviously with the partnership announced, everyone started saying, well, that's why Reddit is surging. And my focus isn't really on whether that's happening or conspiracy theories or anything like that. My focus today is really about all the other forums surging with the Hidden Gems update. Now, Danny Sullivan has come out from Google, has come out several times and said, basically, it's not just Reddit. We're surfacing a lot of user-generated content, forum content that people may want to see. So what I started doing is I started tracking forums, and I had 40 forums, 50, 60. Now I have close to 100. I think it's 97 or 98 forums across verticals that I'm tracking, and I'm tracking the visibility numbers for. I'm going to get into that data in a minute. But before that, just sharing what I've done on Twitter and what Lily has done as well, which I'm going to show in a second. We've both been tracking this stuff heavily since the fall of 2023. So, in my post, I have one of the tweets, and I've had several of them over the past few months, but just explaining some of the forums that I've seen. It's not just Reddit and Quora. It's a lot of forums booming. Like Apple's forum absolutely skyrocketed. And I have those screenshots in that tweet if you want to check them out. And then Lily, just from the other day, saying also it's not just Reddit, right? She listed a whole slew of forums there that saw explosive growth through the fall of 2023 into 2024. Now back to the forums that I'm tracking. So I have, I believe, 97 forums that I'm tracking. These are across verticals. Some are the whole site is a forum. Some it's a subdomain. For some, it's just a subfolder, a directory. So I basically broke those out and started running the visibility numbers based on SEMrush data over the past year. So year over year, August to August, right? And it was pretty mind-blowing. I mean, a lot of these forums, I think it was 88% of them saw an increase of over 100%. But some saw 1,000% or more, and some with 5,000 or 6,000% growth. So now listen, these are niche forums, a lot of them, so they're not going to see the absolute growth that a Reddit or a Quora will see, because that focuses on many, many different topics. But percentage-wise, they absolutely surge. So I think this is really important for site owners to understand. Especially, as Google, when they craft these algorithm updates, right, this hidden gems update, that again, we don't know when it rolled out. It looks like it was the October core update or right around then. They could have a big impact on what Google's targeting there, which for this update was, forums and user-generated content. So like I said in my post, it could really rock a SERP. So I have screenshots of a bunch of these sites that surged through the roof with the visibility changes from current date. So this was run as of this morning compared to last August, right before all the fall of insane updates rolled out. And, after I show the percentages there in Excel, I basically get into just showing what this really looks like. So I have 5 different sites across verticals showing the tremendous amount of search visibility growth since the fall of 2023. I mean, you can go through these screenshots. It's pretty insane to see. Now, 2 interesting things. Some of these sites surged in October, really surged. Some started surging in October and then spiked during the November either core update or reviews update. They rolled out about the same time, so it's hard to say which one actually impacted them. But anyway, you could just see this explosive growth. The second thing that's pretty interesting is several of these sites have seen a downward trend, a drop with the volatility that we're seeing this summer. Right, so we've seen a ton of volatility this summer as Google's testing the next core update, potentially the site reputation abuse algorithmic part. I don't know exactly what they're testing. I'm assuming it's the core update. And it's just interesting to see them drop. Like you could see here, a drop, another drop. Now they're still up big time year over year. But you could see they surged and then started dropping. So my point with showing that and pointing that out is, we're awaiting the next broad core update, which is going to be a big one. That's where Google's potentially going to fix some of the stuff that happened with the helpful content update from September of 2023. For all we know, the site reputation abuse, algorithmic part could be part of the next core update. They're doing a lot of testing and have for months now. So that some of these sites are seeing a drop there is really interesting. So I guess we'll see what happens when the next broad core update rolls out. So that's it. You can check out my post on gsqi.com. That's my website, my blog. And that's it. If you have any questions, you could hit me up on YouTube or on X or LinkedIn and definitely ask questions if there's anything that interests you. So until the next episode, which may be about the next core update because that's going to be rolling out soon, watch those forums in the search results because they're seeing some volatility, but they've seen explosive growth. Again, thanks for listening, and look for that next episode soon.